Hey gang, Scott Davenport here. Welcome to In Post. Thanks for joining me today. So today's video, it's kind of a little bit of an interesting one, I suppose, because of its title, Post Can't Fix Everything. And I think we inherently know that. And as I was working through some photos from the shoot I shared earlier this week in La Jolla, there was one photo in particular. As I'm working on it, I had this idea for it, this vision for it in my head, and simply it was not going to come through. It just wasn't possible with the photo I had. And it's this photo here. It's a different shot of the fisherman. If you watched In the Field earlier this week, you saw the final photo where it was really nice color image, some nice action going on. The thought that I had going into this photo was, oh great, I got a fisherman here, and then I wanted this water to be just super misty, almost like minimal. And what I failed to do, I was concentrating so much, capturing something crisp of the fisherman, I forgot to capture a really long exposure of the water. And this was the best that I had. And as I worked with this, I got to a point where I'm not going to be able to get anything else out of it. There's some things that did work for me. Switching to a particular profile, so in Lightroom, the various different profiles, black and white 4 worked nicely. It was very bright whites, nice deep black, so that was good for the contrast. I believe I have some local adjustments in here. If I hover on this one here for a minute, this is a little challenging to see everything that's going on here. Let me turn on the mask. But the luminance range is in the upper end, and so a lot of the deep shadows in the rock are not being affected by the mask, but what is a lot of the water. And so, pushing up the whites, pushing up the exposure a little bit, trying to further accentuate that contrast. Another pin here, this one's a little clearer is what's going on, where it's the ocean that is being affected. And notice the clarity and the texture sliders pushed way down. So it's trying to give some of that misty feeling that we would get with a really long exposure. But it was around that point and going, you're pushing the limits of what you can do with the capture you have. Post cannot fix everything. Could I spend, eons of time in Lightroom and Photoshop and on one, and take it through the litany of tools that you have and try to get something going on? Maybe, but at that stage, I don't think that's time well invested. I'd rather make a mental note. The next time you do this, make sure you capture the right assets, because post-processing, it's fun, it's enjoyable, and you can do lots of things. But at a certain point, at least for me, there's a stage at a photo where this is not going to go farther than the raw materials that are there. So I thought that was a good reminder to me. I thought I'd share it this week on In Post. Got questions? Go ahead and drop them below. I know this isn't exactly a post-processing tip, but I thought it was worthwhile to share. And until next time, my name's Scott Davenport. Have fun.